favorite pick at the moment.
We certainly do. The Graves comes through, Thresh as well, which is a takeaway from the Aphelios so that you can't have that solid duo. It's Yuyanja's, I would say, one of his best picks, although it's not one of his most common picks. It's certainly what feels like one of his most staples.
Definitely so. And I think as well, it's PP God's one of his most stable. He often has gone towards the Bard, gone towards the Thresh. Now, he tends to play a more defensive style of Thresh where he'll play into the back line and make sure he's using more as a peel bot more than anything else. So we'll have a little bit of playmaking ability if they do go towards the Kalista, but expect PP God to be taking a little bit of a back seat when it comes to these Thresh plays. On the opposite side though, we already see the Karma can go for the flex potential here, but they're more than likely going to send that towards Knight in the mid lane, and it looks like Karst is trying to eye up an early game jungler that can go toe to toe with his Graves. I think the Lee Sin works best here.
I mean, we've seen it countless times over the years
Do
from
it.
Karsa.
Please give me the AP Nunu mid.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to go for that until it's locked in, but if there's anyone to bring it to the stage, it probably would be Mole. The Kalista is there, and we saw them hovering the Kalista. We've seen Sam D play it 4 times already this split. This one's a bit of a no-brainer.
He looks so damn good, and it's actually the pick that he's gotten a couple of dual lane kills for himself as well. So keep your eyes on this aggression in the bottom lane, especially if Weiwei can get down and play through that. We can potentially see some early ganks going the way of Samdi.
And what a statement that would be from Samdi and PP God to take down Jackie Love and Yuyanja in lane. Well, let's not get too excited just yet. Let's wait and see what happens once we get into the game. But now mid lane bans across the board here. Orianna taken away from Knight, his most played so far this split. And then Galio removed from all.
So I imagine here the idea for V5 is, look, we're going to go for some sort of top lane pick here. Make sure that we're leaving that counter pick open for Mo, because I think this is the linchpin. You can assume that that Karma is going to go towards the mid lane, like we've already talked about, but there's no guarantee just yet. So I want to make sure that Mole is getting the counter pick, because against Knight, that's the lane that can influence the most in this game.
Yeah, Knight definitely a player that if you give him an advantage, he is going to destroy the lane. So final ban goes towards Bubu here. Renekton taken off the board. By far his most played, but let's bear in mind, Bubu plenty flexible, still has things like the Mordekaiser, the Ornn, Wukong, like the standard meta top laners are perfectly available for V5.
Could also go for the Volley Bear if he really wants to. We've seen that pretty high priority, but looks like instead, okay, they're going right. We believe that this is going to be the Karma mid, so we're going to go with this Twisted Fate. The only thing is Karma does a reasonably good job against the Twisted Fate and just consistently shoving in and making it a bit difficult for him to roam, but we'll have to see what the plan is going to be for Victory 5. On the opposite side, top Esports still looking for a top and a support. We talked about with the Yuumi gone, Nautilus has been the go-to for Yuyanji, so I'm not surprised to see this locked in. They are also lacking a little bit of an engage tool here, so we will get confirmation that Karma's mid, and with the Nautilus locked in, we're going to see 369 going towards that Wukong.
And you know what? 369 is going to have to go up against whatever Bubu deems as a counter pick in the top lane, but he didn't mind so much about the counter back in his last matchup.
I'd love to see the Volley Bear here. I think you then set yourself up for this super high dive / pick potential where Volley Bear disables the turret. You then have the Twisted Fate come in as well off of the Destiny, and you can really set up for some crucial dives, because on Victory 5 side, with the lack of range on their carries, it can make it a little bit difficult for them to try and siege some of these structures. So having that opportunity could have been good, but instead we're just going to look towards the Ornn, and we're going to see if we can get some of these big old team fights rolling.
Yeah, it's just going to be team fight ults on either side, so I don't anticipate too much action towards the top side. But that said, we have seen both Weiwei and Karsa look up towards ganks in the top side, so we'll have to wait and see where the junglers go. But ultimately, those junglers are guys to keep your eyes on, because they both have sheer comfort to make plays in the early.
They will be looking to try and get their teams ahead in the early stages, in particular on the Victory 5 side. Look, you've got a Kalista, spikes off of 1/2 items, same with your Twisted Fate, even the Graves as well. So Victory 5 will be looking to try and start the snowball early, and then when we do get to those fights, the idea here is to have Ornn and also that Twisted Fate get onto the Aphelios, who's the main damage dealer on this top esports side. So if you can try and disrupt him, get the likes of a stun card into a Call of Forge God, you can hopefully take down this Aphelios before it becomes too much of an issue. The only thing I will say though is we already see the cleanse opted in for by Jackie Love. He's great at positioning in these fights, so V5 will definitely have their work cut out for them if this game goes later.
One thing I will say is if there's any AD carry in the league that likes to step a little bit too far forward to try and maximize damage, it's probably Jackie Love. Usually he's on Ezreal, so usually he can get away with it. I will say, Fellows, you can quite often get away with that as well.
Yeah, I think the nice thing here for JackeyLove, though, is he has the double support. So you can even see Mikhail's coming through nice and early. You can see some like coming in for the likes of the Karma or even the Nautilus. You can see a lot of shields coming in and enabling JackeyLove to set up well.
We'll see if they can set JackeyLove up for success. It's time to jump into game number 1 here. First against second for Top Esports against Victory 5. The highlight matchup being JackeyLove against Sam D, and the matchup we were talking about before the game being Yuyanja against PP God. Everybody keeping their eyes towards that bottom lane. But so much of this is going to come down to the junglers setting up influence as well, because we know that Karsa and Weiwei more than happy to try and set up those ganks.
I also think it's a little bit of BM from Karsa wearing the FPX skin right after he's just trounced them 2-0 in their last series.
True, but to be fair, I've seen a lot of FPX skins, not just in the LPL, but globally at Esports, so maybe just likes it.
Fair, fair. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt here, but going to see as well as we start to move forward, actually JackeyLove opting in for the lethal tempo here. So obviously when he's got a lot of support here, the Conqueror, the extra damage is nice, but you don't really need to rely on that healing when you're going to have Knight going for the Fiends and Holy Grail and Ardent Sensor is all well and good. So instead just trying to get as much auto attacks off as possible in as short a time as possible.
We could have a very early start to the game here, Dagda, as Weiwei is waiting off towards the side. Karsa wants to steal away this red buff to start things off. Weiwei now going to move in. He's going to use the sweeper as well. Knock up across the board from BuBu here. But the Brawler's going to continue. They're not giving up just yet. Weiwei was the one to get the red buff. And now Mole's moved in as well. Karsa's going to be the first one to go down in this game. First blood to Mole. But 369 has found himself a 1v1. And Knight is moving up as well to try and support with BuBu here, though. Maybe it's 369 that's in trouble. Top Esports have to back away. And
the beauty of this is that Weiwei got the kill, got the buff, but because he's Graves, he doesn't even have to back. He can just continue on his normal clear path without taking too much damage. And this is a massive setback for Karsa. So as this game goes forward, we talked about Weiwei, who likes to get in on use pressure created from his lanes. Well, you've got a super aggressive bottom lane who can look to support you in invading onto Karsa.
Karsa could have found himself a little bit of a deficit here. One thing to mention is we've got a lethal tempo Aphelios coming out. Hang on, we've got 369 in trouble here because he's taking a huge amount of damage from BuBu. He's going to walk away with his life at very least.
Yeah, we'll be able to get away, but still relatively low. So we don't have to worry too much. He'll be able to heal up. He'll be fine at the moment. BuBu will shove in this wave, and potentially now we can see that there will be some pressure towards the top side, but some pressure towards the top side with Karsa, but BuBu at least can just shove this in, bounce it, and still all be fine.
I don't know if you guys can hear that as well, but we've got some voices in our ears. I feel like I'm going insane here, Dagda. But we do have Karsa moving up towards the top side of the map here to try and get in on towards BuBu, who, let's bear in mind, BuBu is very deep here. 369 is getting dived by everybody, but it's a bit of a weird one. I don't know how they really expected that to work against the Wukong. Now Mole's going to be in trouble as Karsa is going to be able to just DPS him down, keeping the slow with the red buff. Conqueror procs. That's an easy kill for Karsa. Flash away from BuBu as well. No way is Karsa going to go for the dive. Okay, misses the Q, walks away.
Oh, that got real messy real quick. And actually, looks like Karsa might be going for a little bit of
hang on. We got a 2v2. PP got a Sam D, making the aggressive plays onto Yuyanja. Dredge line to the wall, but Rendi's going to be stacking on up. One more hit, and there's a duo kill for Sam D and PP God.
We said already, PP God and Sam D love these duo kills, and they managed to add another one into their books. This combo between Thresh and Kalista has already netted them 2 duo lane kills. That's a third one now for themselves.
This series is already looking like exactly what I wanted it to be. This is a closer series so far than what we saw between Top Esports and FPX, for goodness sake.
And a lot of this is coming down to mistakes from Top Esports. We got the invade from Karsa, where Weiwei was able to turn that one around. We then get this play on the bottom side where they get the kill onto Yuyanja. And although we do have that misstep from Mole in the top lane, it's still 1,000 gold lead that's opened up for V5 right now.
And I love that everything we're seeing so far is aggression from V5 as well. Like, the dive play that we saw was It was a good attempt, but it kind of went a little overzealous.
And
we're setting up another play down in the bottom lane now.
Yeah, and look at where Mole is. They have no idea that he's here. Yanja might get caught out.
Yanja's underneath this turret. He's going to be able to shield himself, but there's another hook from PP God himself. This is just too beautiful.
And I want to see that PP giggles in the chat because PP God has been looking absolutely stellar right now. This is exactly what we wanted to see from V5. We wanted to check to see what the temperature was. How good are these guys? Well, they're looking pretty damn hot right now.
It's 3-1 right now, and they've got a 1,000 gold lead in their favor against Top Esports. And let's just bear in mind, like, I want to give context that Top Esports, not only are they first place right now, they have only lost 2 games this entire split. They just dismantled FBX in their last series, and we were talking about V5's schedule so far, how they'd had relatively easy opponents. This is the opposite of that.
And now we're going to have to see what V5 and how they can continue this. Because, yes, they're getting the kills on the bottom side. I want to see them turn this into dragons. I want to see them start racking up these objectives. Because otherwise, it's going to just delay where they can force Top Esports into these fights. If you can get these fights rolling nice and early, where Sam D's got that Blade of the Rune King, maybe a Rune's Hurricane, and Jackie Love is still sitting on just the components of a Zeal after Infinity Age, you should be able to win out these scraps as V5.
I mean, they've got that Twisted Fate to set it all up. It's the pick that has been the biggest mid-game pick from that mid lane, I'd honestly say, so far this split. And we've seen Mole use it just one time so far this split, but he's certainly been a mid laner that, regardless of the pick he's on, he wants to move around the map. He wants to make influence in the side lanes. So the Twisted Fate, it's a pick you'd hope he's going to be able to spread the wealth around the map. Yanja wants a bit of revenge as he hooks on towards PP God, but couldn't quite proc his passive.
Yeah, great play from PP God to stop that follow-up auto attack so no stun can come through. Weiwei's again on this bottom side, though. They don't have vision in the brush, but I think Weiwei isn't really going to be able to do too much. I'd rather see them shove in this bottom lane, move over towards the Ocean Drake, but it's a fairly big wave that is collapsing, so eventually Top Esports will have to
hang on. Are you a PP believer? Because he's got yet another hook. Yanja pulls himself out, but the rend is there from Sam D. Weiwei gets out of the turret range as well, and it's yet another dive from V5.
This is beautiful from V5. Now they can go towards that dragon. You do see Karsa here to try and at least I get a glimpse of, well, this might have been an objective at one point we picked up, but V5 are running away with this early game.
And this is the Thresh pick we were talking about, because PP God is just not missing a hook down in that bottom lane. Yanja feeling the brunt of it. He is 0-3 already.
And there's nothing that he can do. He burned that flash earlier, and they've just punished over and over and over. And from now, this point forward, I mean, look at the item difference that you've got from Sam D. He's already finished his boots, got his Vamp Scepter as well. He's well on his way to having a lot of these big items that Kalista loves. And because they got the shove and bot, they're already rotating towards that top side as well to use the advantages that they picked up at this Rift Herald fight.
Well, Karsa, you mentioned Rift Herald fight. He's wanting to just grab this before a fight ever kicks off, but V5 are here, and they've got complete vision. Jaculov's moved up as well. You can see Bubi on the bottom side of the map, but he has teleport available.
V5 are very separated, though. Sam D's gone top side, so this is going to be a little bit of a spread-out fight, and it looks like this Rift Herald is actually going to be gone, maybe before they can fight.
I thought Yanja maybe had got a little too far for himself there, but he's going to be fine, and that is the Herald taken by Top Esports here.
Yeah, so Sam D saw there was a big wave collapsing in that top side, didn't want to let that die to the turret, so they do end up giving that Rift Herald across, but on the bottom side, Bubi never tried to join into that fight. He actually had his teleport available, whereas 369 didn't, so he's just happy to take this bottom lane, take 2 turret plates for himself, and you even out that trade when it comes to the Rift Herald.
Yeah, feels great for the Ornn as well to be able to get a bunch of that gold. And, you know, we always talk about tanks versus carries getting gold. Ornn is one of those champions that really can get the value out of those turret plays. So very nicely played when it comes to the map overall from V5.
And don't forget as well that because you're dealing with the majority of AD damage on Top Esports side, all that extra gold going into the armor that you can already see building up with the Bramble vest, going towards the Sunfire, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go in towards more the Frozen Fist then and just kind of ignore the Abyssal Mask build. Can work out super, super well for him.
So I do just want to kind of revisit where we started off in this conversation today about win conditions for these two teams, because we're getting very excited about this gold lead that V5 have for themselves. They're 2,000 ahead right now. They've got an Ocean Drake as well. But A lot of the strength in this top esports composition does come later on into the game.
Well, I think that's why we're so excited, because you need this squad from V5 to start rolling. You need this composition to have some early kills, get to those items, and really start to snowball early. Well, already we're seeing that. There's a 2,500 gold lead on your screens right now in favor of V5. This is them starting to get rolling early. Whereas on top esports, you're still looking for 3 items on Jackie Love. No, you're not so much waiting for Knight because, of course, he's a Karma. He's got a cheap build with this more support item build, but you're still going to be looking towards that 25 to 30 minute mark before they can come online. And every time V5 are getting kills, getting advantages onto the Kalista, the main carry alongside Weiwei on their team, it's looking really strong.
It's looking fantastic for them so far, and this is very much the series that is going to set a precedent for the rest of the split here for Victory 5. They're looking to set a precedent down in this bottom lane as they move towards 369, but with just clearing the wards, they're going to have to be happy with that.
And, I mean, at the moment, you can see, look, we still have Sam D in that top side. He's going to back now and start making his way down towards this bottom side. They want to start getting those rotations off for the next Dragon. That's just over a minute and a half. And, again, it's V5 trying to force these plays where Sam D is at his strongest point, has a bunch of these advantages in his favor as well, and trying to see if they can draw top esports into some sort of play.
You see Knight has finished his Chalice here in the mid lane, and he's going to be getting himself an Aether Wisp as well, so he'll start to rapidly get towards those items. As you rightly said before, it's a supportive build, so the items are a lot cheaper for him to get towards. It's very much those BF swords that we'll see coming through for Jackie Love that you've got to keep your eyes on. Rift Tower dropped in the top side here by Caster. Teleport channeled as well, but Weiwei is here to answer, try and keep Yubu safe. It was 369 that TP'd in. Jackie Love does get the gold for these turret plates. It's only going to be 2 that went down, though. Couldn't quite finish the third one. PP got off to the side.
Well, that's all that V5 have to do is wave clear right now, because look, everyone from top esports has gone up on this high side.
No.
Oh, PP God!
PP God's been found, kicked back as well. 369 is here, flashes the Cyclone, but it's followed by the Monkey King himself. 369 will finish this kill off. That's a kill for top esports. What else can V5 answer with?
A mistake from PP God. What they were trying to do was just wave clear, keep this top lane alive, because Sam D had stayed bottom lane and would have got the turret for himself. So you trade these turrets back and forth, and essentially that Rift Herald means nothing then. Now, V5 will still pick up all these turret plates, should get this first turret of the game. Although, as I say that, Knight, yeah, won't be able to make it down. So Sam D gets a lot of gold injected into him.
Knight is going to try and start a fight with Sam D right here, who has a Cutlass. And apparently Karma wins this 1v1, much to my surprise. He's going to flash forward, and Knight, one more auto, but he can't quite get in range, and Spire's on cooldown. Can he get the Q onto Sammy D? There's the solo kill from Knight. We call it a supportive pick, apparently not. Jackie Love now in trouble, but the knock-up denies the Ornal. Knight finds himself in the corner, knocked back in the Weiwei, collateral damage, steals the kill from Mole.
Bubu's nearly got the kill on Jackie Love in the top lane, though. There's action everywhere, Munch. This is the series that I wanted, and it will net V5 this Dragon in the bottom side of the map too. 369, though, doing a good job of answering for some plates as well. So we've got, when we look at all these plates that are gone, there's 4 overall that have been collected by top esports, 2 in the top, 2 in the mid, actually nearly 3, there we go.
Beautiful.
So 5 overall, I will say, for top esports, but you've got those 5 in the bottom lane already picked up directly into Sam D's pocket. You've got 1 as well picked up on the top side, so V5 leading ever so slightly when it comes to the turret plays.
Mole is pretty far forward here, and Castle wants to punish him for it, but with the heal used, they decide that they're not going to be able to chase that one down, so he gets away with it.
And V5 now, reading this, can look to move in towards this Rift Tower that's about to spawn, get some vision for themselves, and make sure they're in a good spot to go for this next play. Because look, Blade of the Root King just completed for Sam D, the jungle item finished as well, Sunfire for Bubu. They are so strong if they can find these 5v5 fights.
So you can see a bit of a replay of what happened down, or up in the top lane when we saw Bubu nearly getting a kill onto Jackie Love. Important to mention that his flash was burned during all of that. So, if we have a fight for this next Rift Herald, or maybe not for Dragon, but over one of these towers, Jackie Love will be flashless. If Mole can get onto him, if Sam D can get onto him, he's a vulnerable target.
Yeah, the cleanse is the important part, though. As long as he's still got cleanse, he can get away from hooks, he can get away from stun cards, and have a little bit more safety here. So he still has that available, which does help, but we're waiting on that Call of the Forge God from UBU to at least come back up off cooldown before V5 want to make a play. So potentially here top esports can look to take this fight before that cooldown comes off, but there's only a very brief window.
So Herald is up now. It's 2,000 gold in favor of V5 as we move towards this objective. 369 does not have his teleport available right now, whereas BuBu does. So you'll see the Ornn moving to that bottom lane, and he's going to be able to put some level of split pressure in at least, but you can see 369 on the corner of your screen there, went in the wings in this mid lane.
Karsa's already started this up, but V5 are here.
Yuyan just going to start this fight getting straight on towards Sam D, kicks him into the team, and look at that, beautiful from Top Esports. Now BuBu has arrived to try and make a play. It's going to be an ult from JackieLove, who is just pinned up and knocked up and taken down. PPGold goes wide on the hook, but ultimately V5 win the fight.
And a lot of that is because even though they get Sam D, they're able to have Weiwei here as that secondary AD carry, burst out JackieLove as well, and V5 are winning these fights. Munch, that's Rift Herald for them.
JackieLove, you mentioned the cleanse being up, but cleanse don't do much against the knockups, and he was just bounced around during the fight. V5, they acknowledge, hey, we're stronger in the mid game, we're in the mid game, we're not going to back down.
And you made a really good point, Munch, earlier on, is that sometimes JackieLove can go that little bit too far forward. That's exactly what we saw here. So great play from Top Esports to pick off Sam D. Everyone from Top Esports now starts to back away because, like, we don't want to get caught by the Call of the Forge God, but JackieLove is stuck beside the wall, so when he gets knocked up, it's an easy follow for BuBu. Weiwei is able to bounce that Q straight off the wall, straight into the face of JackieLove, and it means that he's burst out, and all that extra damage that we talked about that JackieLove needs to be the one to carry with isn't in the fight. 369 is too low, and V5 can just win out.
Dagda, I'm starting to get a little bit excited here because we talked about compositions and win conditions with Top Esports and FPX, and it was all about FPX, and then when those win conditions should have been firing, it was Top Esports that won the fights. That's not the story I'm seeing here, though.
And the big thing here, just to follow on that, is that Victory 5 have a couple of different ways they can play out this advantage. So because they got ahead in these early stages of the game, it's easier for them to send Mole off into a side lane and then make a tempo play with the Destiny, with the teleport that they have, and find numbers advantages against Top Esports. So you can already see that's why Mole is down on this bottom side of the map. They want to make sure they're consistently using this teleport to put pressure on towards Top Esports.
It's going to be a TP advantage right now, though, in favor of Top Esports, with 369 having that available for himself. He's going to be in that bottom lane alongside Mole. And it depends on the distance of the play, right?
Look at Weiwei, though. It ain't a 1v1. Weiwei's sitting around here trying to see if maybe he can set up a bit more, but I think 369
369 is reading you loud and clear, mate, because he is out of there all the way to the tier 2. You can see V5 swarming into the Top Esports jungle here. This would be the third Drake in 40 seconds. If they can get this, V5 would already be on soul point.
But look at where the waves are. And Top Esports, especially with Karsa showing on this top side, are just going to say, hey, look, we're going to trade it. They want to just get the tower instead. BuBu knows this and should be backing away.
BuBu face checks the brush, basically. Karsa, bit of a weird one. You don't usually see Karsa mess up with a kick.
I think he was assuming that you're going to get the W coming in anyway, but
this
V5,
could be 2 towers.
Yeah, V5 have the Rift Herald. They can keep pushing. Mo's on this bottom side. He can always join in that mid lane. That's going to be the second charge with 2 towers gone. And you know what's beautiful, Munch? They can stop by the drive-by on the way out and pick up a nice Cell Dragon for themselves as well.
This is everything that V5 want for themselves. BuBu gets a knock-up onto Karsa. Even taking Krugs is hard for Top Esports at this point in the game. The gold lead now 3,000. This will be the third Drake as well, going the way of V5. Dagda, I'm starting to get excited. I don't know if I can say this, but I think V5 might take this one.
Look, will someone check on Lyric to see if he's still alive? He might have had a heart attack at the sheer excitement that V5 might be able to take a game off of Top Esports here. And this is where it does get dicey. So look, Top Esports are still an incredibly good team. We got to look at what happens, because Top Esports, they do have the scaling. They just need to find a way to slow this game down, and it's something that Top Esports have done previously. It's just going to be quite difficult for them to do in this game. They do have answers for the teleport plays, or at least the side lane pressure that can come in from V5, because it's Mole that they want off in a side lane. They usually want to have BuBu with them for this 4-1 push, but you do have 369 who has teleport, you've still got Knight who has teleport, so they can answer for the TF on the side lane. It's just a case of, can they keep this wave clear? Can they make sure that they're able to stop V5 from getting the likes of this Baron? Because it's the Baron that will really seal the deal here for Victory 5. As long as they can slow that down, Top Esports can get to their items and still have a fight back in this game.
Yeah, look towards the scoreboard as well, because if we recap on where we're at with the items here, hang on, Yuyanja's in trouble. Forced a flash on the Nautilus, but he's knocked up and taken in by PP God. Another pick out of nowhere, just as the Baron spawns.
And that's the worst part, is that as the Baron has come up, you've got Weiwei who deals a whole heap of damage. You've got the Kalista as well that can do a lot of work here, but it looks like they're not quite confident enough to go towards that Baron. It is only 20 minutes. Yubiu's on this bottom lane as well, so by the time Yuyanja comes back up and available, you will be able to go towards the Baron. And a lot of damage, to be honest, on top esports sides that could cause a little bit of trouble in at the Baron. But it's a showing of what to come, right? It's a showing of why you have to be careful as top esports and can't push up that Baron.
So Yuyanja protecting JackieLove there as it was the Destiny used to try and set up a play. And I mean, this is exactly what we want to see from Mole. Using this Destiny proactively to set up these plays. And sure, they don't get the Baron now, but as you rightly say, it's what's to come there.
And Mole is going for this rapid fire cannon build. So he is looking to go full utility. So all you're looking to do is stack up that rapid fire cannon, use it as that long range gold card. So even if you want to go for a front to back fight as V5, you can still threaten JackieLove with that long range stun card, and it makes it so much easier for Mole to operate in these fights when even if that first stun card gets cleansed, he can still come in with a second.
Right now, top esports are getting pulled around the map by V5, just trying to catch up to all the waves that are crashing on in. I have to say, even if V5 won today, I was not expecting to say it was through macro advantages, through playing the map as well as V5 are right.
Well, that's what V5 have done, right? That's how they've got their wins, is this clean macro that when they get ahead, they will keep that snowball rolling. There are some times where it's looked a little bit muddled, but 9 times out of 10, when they get a lead, they will just power through with it.
BB's found 369 in the bottom lane here. Wants to go for a little bit of a spat, but not going to find his target. 369 just going to return to farming away. This is typically what you'll see out of the Wukongs in the top lane, is just trying to push these waves and waiting for the big team fights. And I think that is the big thing that all of top esports are waiting for now, is waiting for an opportunity to group up for this Karma to have massive effect out of the Mantra E combo. For JackieLove to be able to pop off, and you can see him recalling right now, he's probably going to finish his second crit iron.
The thing is, though, he's still not as strong as the rest of V5. So you need to get to that third Zeal item, the Phantom Dancer, before you become super powerful here as JackieLove. And that's why we're still waiting on that to come to fruition. But the thing is, they're going to be forced to fight here against V5 at this next dragon. Unfortunately for V5, it is a Dragon Soul. I was hoping it might be the Mountain.
We've got a fight on our hands here. Mole gets the stun onto 369 here, but the Warrior Trickster keeps him safe for a little bit. PP God flashes with a play onto everyone. 369 still survived, though. It's actually BuBu underneath the tower. Wait, he went down?
Must have been challenging Spite that just about kicked him off, because managing to get the kill to Weiwei. So, but look, I mean, the JackieLove's low, Yuyanji's low, you've got no 369. They can crack open this base.
They can really go for this one, and they're going to need to, because top esports, you can see JackieLove is already starting to do some damage, but Mole gets the stun card in onto Yuyanja. This is a difficult one to make happen, especially with Infernum in play. You don't want to allow Aphelios to do Aphelios things here.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Moonlight Vigil, though, so it's not as dangerous right now. But honestly, it's just to back away and make sure that they can get that dragon. Here, though, this is beautiful. Again, Mo finding these opportunities where top esports are separated. They force 369 instantly out of the fight. The best call here, because of how much damage. Jesus, that was actually so much.
200
yeah,
on a bit?
That's insane. The challenging Smite. But looking at the rest of it, 369 was the engage. If you take it...
Hang on, we ain't got time for that right now. Yuyanja uses Stone Plate to keep himself safe. Good kick from Karsa, but he's chased out of the fight here. 369, you got to get in there. He's onto Sammy D, but Karsa already went down. 369 trying to get this onto his back. In the meantime, JackieLove is already gone down, but Knight is surviving. PP God barely gets away, but 369 chases him on through. One more auto. Knight will fall, though, in the meantime, because it's way on top of everything. The Call of the Forge God hasn't been used yet. I'm not quite sure how, but Yuyanja falls as well. 369 now in a 1 versus 2, but he should get away with his life.
And it was a very scrappy fight both sides, but still, V5 come out on top. They can get this Cloud Soul for themselves now. No Smite available, but I highly doubt that we're going to see 369 get in over the wall. Now he's going to back away. Either way, so this is V5 now getting this Cloud Soul. It's now going to force that Elder Dragon up on the cards, and you've just sent a whole bunch more gold into V5's side. So as this fight kicks off, it ends up a little bit all over the place. They get the hook onto Yuanjia, but Karsa comes in over to the side. That kick onto Weiwei does nothing, but it does separate the fight. So you don't have a front to back, it's out into skirmishes, and Jackie Love does go down, but it's at the same time as Sam D goes down to 369.
And once again, we see Jackie Love stepping too far forward, being too aggressive, and punished for it. BuBu is like, oh, you're going to walk next to a wall? No worries, I'll get you a knock up every single time. All right, we ain't got time for this. We got another fight on our hands. It's Mole caught in the back of the pit, but there's a hook onto Yuanjia. Keeps himself safe, but Mole is the first one to go down. Jackie Love is burnt on through by Sam D, and Karsa chased down into the enemy jungle, straight onto the Baron for V5.
It's the desperation play from Top Esports. Like, we got to do something. We have a little bit of a timing window here where we can try and take the Baron, but V5 runs straight there. They make sure there's nothing that can be done, and they will get the Baron.
V5 are running away with this one now. 6,000 gold lead, Cloud Soul. And it's going to be that Elder Dragon in 5 minutes' time.
This is incredible. Look at Weiwei's score. This guy is smurfing on Top Esports right now. He has looked incredible in every single one of these fights, constantly positioning perfectly so he's getting a whole heap of this damage off. And he's been the one who's killing Jackie Love all the time with BuBu.
Honestly, Jackie Love is having a really hard game for himself. Sam D, the one to get him this fight. It was Mole that got him in the last fight, but consistently, the issue is that Jackie Love is just going way too far forward, and he doesn't have the damage to justify it yet.
He's getting there. He is almost at that point, but the problem is, you're so far behind here. It's a 6,000 gold lead for V5 with the Cloud Soul, which is, yeah, okay, not the greatest for the squad that they have, but it's still enough of an advantage that you're looking at those cooldowns coming up super, super quickly, especially the likes of that Destiny. The extra ultimate CDR means that Mole is even more threatening now in these side lanes.
I just want to say something that I think contextualizes where V5 are right now. They're in the bin because Karsa's here to make a play onto Mole. They'll find themselves the slow. That Destiny doesn't go far, but it's far enough, and now Karsa's the one in trouble. PP God's here as well, thrown back into the fray, pulls everybody in, and down go the health bars. Top Esports falling once more. BuBu gets it with the first ram, knock up onto everybody else. This is a thing of beauty before my eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a PP lever right now because they are going straight onto the Nexus. And V5 of all teams are going to take game number 1 against Top Esports. Serve up the 3rd game loss of the entire split against arguably the best team in the world.
They say that gods can't bleed. Little did we know that they were talking about V5 support when they made that statement, because Top Esports are on the ropes after game number 1, after a